Hello again, friends. We have just listened to, or at least I've just recorded a bit of a demo of this pedal. I decided I did in fact like it. So I will plan to get another one and keep using it. However, this one itself is in not the greatest state to continue on. So I'm going to take it apart, service it. I'm probably going to just lift some parts from it, to be honest. This is a pedal that cost less than $100. Somebody else has worked on it and kind of messed it up. Like you can see this here. This is, hopefully you can see that. Some pretty janky work right there. In fact, that just came right off. This guy's going to be a better service to the vintage world by donating some parts and pieces. It's got holes drilled in both pieces of the case, if you didn't see that. So this is not a museum piece. It's not a collector. Doesn't have some amazing history that needs to live on through it in its current condition. However, it has some original parts that I can use to restore something like a ram's head Big Muff. And in that case, its history can live on through the pedal it helps restore. So everybody probably has a different set of ethics and standards when it comes to, you know, what they would do, but this thing, like, it's all kind of messed up. It's already been messed with. This is not a typical switch that you would see, so I don't know if that's, I don't know what the deal is there. I thought it was a bulging switch, but I don't see that branding on it anywhere. Look how simple this is, though. Such a simple circuit. 1, 2, 3, 4 resistors. 2 capacitors, 1 transistor, and 1 pot. The switch is unnecessary. It's just a power switch. Technically, this switch is unnecessary. It's just a power switch also, or an in-out switch. You could just leave it on all the time, and it would be just fine. Okay, I'm going to get the duct going for this one. I'm going to do a full breakdown on this. As I'm doing this here, though I've already started and committed my mind to it, it does occur to me that this could be a situation where it's like, oh, I like that pedal, I'll get another one. And then for the rest of my life, I never find one that sounded quite the same. It's not like I'm throwing out anything, though. I could always put it back together. Okay, this battery clip is just some janky-ass garbage. Oh. And it's fallen off on both sides. Okay. So, yeah, there's no need for me to keep that. It's not even the original clip. It's not even an original clip. All right. So we got the duct heating up. Let us, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to desolder from the jacks. And I'm going to leave the solder on the switch. The leads. I'm going to leave the leads on the switch too. Okay. Woo, that's warm. I think I'm gonna just clip that close and tight. Be cleaner than to try and actually take it off and risk melting the insulation and disturbing that solder. There we go. Yeah. See, now that's nice and clean. You see this orange wire in a lot of EHX pedals. And this is like brownish purpley stuff too. So I'm going to leave this guy just as it is. I don't know what kind of switch this is. Is it a Marquardt? It really looks like a Bulgin with these little wings between. Those Bulgins were leaf switches inside, not a typical rocker switch like a modern one. Makes them kind of special. It's like what you'd see on an old fuzz phase. Okay. This pot's had the little plus thing nipped off of it. I think maybe not on this side though. And I believe this is a 100K pot, but we're able to confirm that in just a second. All right, so we can check. I gotta turn on the benchtop multimeter. It takes a minute to boot up. It's kind of a lot. It's extra. Is that how you say that? Is that how you use that term? We got a little solder dripping down here. Let's see if we can clean that up. It's going to read high because it's hot. And when resistors read high or are hot, they read high. $93.8K. So it is 100K on pot. Yeah, 93.8. Probably reads closer to 88 if it's reading 93 when it's hot. I am going to remove the solder from the back. I was kind of iffy about that, but most designs for EHX pedals do not have that solder on the back of the pot. I'm also curious what the date is. We see 1377, so yeah. 13775. All three legs on this were originally like that long one with the little plus on it. And that's because they would sit in a PCB up to that point. And that provided a little bit of spacing on the back. Now, Electro-Harmonix didn't use them that way, but these were made for televisions or something like that. I think probably televisions. EHX likely bought them at surplus and just used them because they got them cheap, and so they made a way to make them work, even though it ended up with their messing with their products because the indicators on the knobs pointed in all kinds of different directions and made these things a little bit harder to assemble and service. You had to use more solder. Some stuff here like this. Maybe we'll get to that last. Let's finish doing what we need to do with the duck before I break out the solder braid. Okay. A big blob of solder fell off of that. Now this is put on in a good way to have a secure, stable component, and that the lead is wrapped all around itself and around the lug. Just it's also done in such a way that makes it hard to come off. What a mess. Might have filled up that reservoir already. Can't imagine. I probably did clog it though. So duck came with this pretty cool little poker here. Yeah, you can hear the difference, right? There it goes. Boy, cleaning that makes a world of difference, doesn't it? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Getting away from me. Okay. I wish I had a little metal box to put. Hey, there's a little metal box I can put stuff on. I'll do the back. The front might have a little bit more value to it because the hole's drilled discreetly on the back end. I think it's funny that somebody added a power supply to that because, I mean, look, this is the circuit. Like, a 9-volt battery powering this would probably last years if you left it on the whole time. Some people just do things out of principle and not out of necessity. All right, let's see if we can clean this jack first. Piece stuck in here. I can get that out. I just need to do it a certain way, which involves my straightened dental pick. See, it used to be like that on both ends, and I straightened it out to just be a straight up poker. Okay, now I think that should fall off. It already did. Good. Okay. Separate the circuit from the switch, but then we'll leave the circuit intact because it's kind of cool. Like, you could almost put that inside, like the sleeve of a 1/4-inch guitar plug. Now, you'd have no power, but if you did a TRS plug, you could use the ring as power, and you know, positive DC, and the shield is negative DC, and you could send essentially phantom power, like you'd call it on a microphone, up the guitar cord into that. Stick it in front of your amp. Kind of unnecessary, but cool. You could also throw this in a guitar. I mean, yeah. I kind of like that idea. Kind of like that. That's just simple. I think I'm going to do that. This thing's going to find its way inside of a Telecaster or a Strat or something. Although it lends itself well to the humbuckers or P90s. You know, the Gibson darker, bigger pickups. Although a Tele neck is known to be pretty dark and small and friendly. Show you guys something I figured out when I was a kid. Probably anybody who's looked at these has. See how there's Now this is a little crusty, but see how there's 3 terminals? 1, 2, 3 on this switch. But then see also how there used to be 6 and 3 of them were cut off. They just made them all double pole, double throw switches, and then they'd cut off 3 or sometimes 4 if they wanted it to be a single pole double throw or a double pole single throw or a single pole single throw. You just cut off different amounts of those, but they made them all the same. It's funny because when you would go buy those from Radio Shack, where I would buy them from as a boy. Hold on. They would the double pole double throw with all 6 lugs cost the most, but it's the least amount of work because they're spending more work to actually cut them off the others. But you know, that's just how it is, how it was at least. And sometimes if they didn't have them, I would buy, if I needed a double pole double throw, I might buy something like this and then just carefully solder onto those little remainders and use them, and it would work. All right, I think we're done with that. Let's bag it up. This guy's gonna get its own sub bag. As is the hardware. So this little circuit, and I'm gonna label it in case I separate myself from it. $1975 LBP2. I'd like to know what the difference is between the LBP2 and 1. Is it just one's in a pedal case? Because I thought they made the LBP1 as one that would plug into your guitar, another one that you could plug into your amp, or another one that was in a box with a foot switch. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the 2 is the one with the foot switch. LBP2. Yep, that's it. So there it is. I kind of like the idea of putting a vintage 1975 LPV2 into one of my guitars. Probably is going to go in a telly because everybody has a telly that needs something stuffed in it, you know. Put this decorative ring back on here. This goes with the pot. Oh, I should have put these back on the switch. I'm failing left and right, aren't I? Just that there's similar looking screws. Some of them are machine screws and some of them are sheet metal screws. So let's keep them together so they don't get mixed up. My buddy Zach might need one of those. Vid, although his is probably a Carling. This is a little later. Maybe not though. He's got a No. His wouldn't be any later than 1975, I don't think. It's a Deluxe Memory Man. Blue silkscreen. Zach, you tell me what kind of switch is it that you need, my man? Probably have one for you. I want to get you the exact right thing. He has the most perfect Deluxe Memory Man I've ever seen. Box, warranty, registration, instruction manual, all that stuff. And it's the blue silkscreen one, the very early one. He's the one that clued me into those. And it's perfect. It's missing the squelch switch, so I'm gonna see if I can't hook my man up. I know I need that knob. I shouldn't just put it in there like that. Okay, one more bag. All right. And look, it even says date, 1975. Contents, EHX, sloppy, LP, do I know how to spell? B1. All right. You guys are watching me perform dumbassery at my worst here. I'm going to kind of put this back together just so it takes up a little less space. Oh, those feet. Those feet. I mean, I know a guy that needs some feet. Not yet. Not yet. We'll start robbing pots as we repair the pedals, because we're going to repair the pedals in a specific order of which, is probably value, to be honest, like historical and monetary value. Okay. All right. You guys want to watch me do another one? The silencer. All right, tune in next time. Bye.